and welcome. My name's Stephen Dickens and you're joining us here for Infrastructure Matters, live from the show floor here at Share in New Orleans. I'm joined by Eddy Ciliendo from 21CS. Hey Eddy, welcome to the show.
Hey Stephen, thanks for having me.
I think we seem to do this every time, every share, don't we?
Sure, it feels that way.
So you've changed company recently. Tell the listeners and the viewers 21st century software as it used to be known. Give us a brief overview of your role and then just tell us a little bit about what's going on with the company.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I joined 21CS, as we're now known after rebranding. I'll talk about that in just a second. Responsible for all things business development strategy. Yeah.
Fantastic. So tell me about the rebrand. We spoke to Nick last time we were at the show. Lots going on. Tell us a little bit about the rebrand.
Yeah, and I think the rebrand is really encapsulating all of the changes that are going on, right? I think that 21st century software, as we were known before, company was a great history, I think great products, trusted name in the market, but I think what we're doing now is, extend that portfolio, and we can talk about kind of the new products that we're launching, also extend our market reach and modernize the company as a whole. So, those were the three key reasons why we were doing that rebrand.
Fantastic. And you talked about some new announcements, some good stuff coming out last week. Give us a bit, sort of brief overview of a little bit about what's new from 21CS.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's one of those exciting things that now show kind of the future of the company. So last week, jointly with IBM, we announced a Cloud Data Manager, or the full name is IBM DFSMS Cloud Data Manager.
Nice catchy title.
Exactly.
Right? Nice catchy title.
But I think CDM, like DFSMS CDM or Cloud Data Manager, I think that really kind of gives you an idea of what the product is for, right? So it's all about the big trend that you and I have been discussing a couple of times now, both face-to-face but also during analyst briefings around cloud object storage, which I think is so crucial in the cloud industry, but also crucial for the mainframe as part of this bigger hybrid cloud movement, right?
Exactly. And from our conversations and me tracking this space, that's not only just from a resiliency point of view, but also from a security point of view. Is that what's coming through in the release?
Absolutely. So the first release, version 1.1, that just GA'd, I think last Friday, will take your mainframe archive data that is usually stored on tape, right? And as you know, customers have petabytes of data out there, right?
And they've got to keep it for regulatory reasons for 7 years, 10 years, depending on the jurisdiction.
Exactly, and you're spot on. I think a lot of those jurisdictions, some of those regulatory requirements are actually getting more stringent by the year, right? So we just learned about one in Latin America, where they're now going from, I think it was 3 to 5 years now to 10 years or even longer, right? So you can imagine how this data just continues growing, right? So customers are looking for more efficient means to store that data long term, right? And cloud object storage, as you know, a great price point, great durability, and then the other benefit that you have is the immutability that can come with some of those cloud object storage platforms. Now, one of the key things that a lot of solutions that are out there today don't really address is, you want to move that data as seamlessly as possible without impacting any of the data structures that you currently have on the floor. Things like last reference date, right?
Remove the friction, basically.
Exactly, remove the friction. So make sure that we move that stuff out to cloud object storage, again, whether it's in the cloud or on-prem, without touching any of the reference data that you have on that.
So where does CDM fit within the wider 21CS portfolio? I think, we'll get on to talking about VSE, but where does it fit within the kind of wider tools portfolio that you guys have got?
Yeah, so honestly, I think that CDM at some point will probably be its own product pillar, so to speak, where we move now more into this hybrid or multi-cloud space. I think currently you can also see it as part of our already very strong cyber resiliency portfolio, right? That includes
makes perfect sense.
That includes IZBR as a very, very strong capability that is also used in IBM's Cyber Vault, right? Includes Change Tracker, because you really want to have control over your changes and see what's going on and potentially be able to roll it back. And then now taking the capability of moving your archival data out to the cloud object storage. So I think you can currently see it, I would say, under the cyber resiliency umbrella, but as we develop more capability in CDM together with IBM, I'm pretty sure that there will be a whole new product pillar emerging from that.
So the other thing, we touched on it briefly there, VSE, you guys are doing a great job of being a steward for that operating system now. Maybe give us a perspective. You've had that now for a number of months and been doing some fantastic development work in that space. What's been the market traction, the market reaction, and maybe just double click on the VSE space for us briefly?
No, absolutely. And I think it's a very important space. There's still a lot of VSE customers out there. Personally, I think it has been, as a market space, it has been underserved for probably 2 decades, right? So I think at first some customers were concerned, hey, why is IBM selling off VSE, right? Is it a dying product? What's going on? So I mean, and that is just normal
natural questions.
Exactly. So, but I think the feedback that we've been getting now from customers as they started interacting with us directly has been nothing but positive, right? Because I mean, for us, VSE is a strategic product, right? We want to continue to invest in VSE, want to continue to invest into the community, and also invest into modernizing VSE and adding more capability to the operating system.
And I think the customers in that space have been looking for that probably for the last 2 decades, if we're being truthful. I know it was, when we were at IBM, it was never strategic. I think you guys taking over that community and that code base and taking it forward makes real sense for everybody involved. So, as we look to wrap up here, we've talked about VSE, we've talked about the cloud data management piece. What are the big trends and other things that you've seen out there in the marketplace?
Yeah, so, and I quickly alluded on the whole cyber resiliency space, right? I think that's where we have a very strong product for portfolio with IZBR and again, Change Tracker, which I think is a fantastic product that we have out there. And then, we still are very, very strong in the whole capacity management area, which is probably something that hasn't gained as much attention over the past couple of years, right? There's the cool stuff, there's cloud, there's AI, there's obviously cyber resilience and security, which is super important. But capacity management still remains, I think, kind of a key pillar of how you operate your mainframe out there, right? And with PCA, the product that we offer, we now support tailor-fit pricing, or we've been supporting it now for a while, tailor-fit pricing both for hardware and software. And as you know, I mean, that's one of the big things from a sales perspective that are going on inside of IBM. A lot of customers moving to tailor-fit pricing, but it's a completely new paradigm, moving away from 4-hour rolling average management and all that kind of jazz.
And trying to maximize that and reduce it, it kind of opens that aperture for people from a capacity planning perspective.
Exactly. So I think that is a product that I really just want to mention out there because I think it's relevant. And then, kind of as an umbrella over all of those products, you see the strategy of AI ops, right?
I was going to say, we can't record a video and not mention AI. We'd be remiss.
Yeah. But you have to give me credit. I kept the buzzwords to the very end.
You did well. But no, I mean, all joking aside, obviously all of our conversations, every vendor's trying to include AI in their portfolio somewhere where it makes sense. Where's AI fitting into the AI ops portfolio, and how's that sort of panning out?
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense in multiple areas, right? But I mean, just let's take PCA or ICPCA as an example, as we just talked about it, right? Where you can have AI give systems programmers, capacity managers, advice of what they should do, right? I think that is a great capability.
Makes perfect sense.
I think it makes perfect sense, especially in light of, the workforce getting smaller and smaller, people having to do more and more. They may not have the 25 years of experience that the former capacity manager had. So having this AI capability in a product that can give you those recommendations, I think that's going to be huge going forward.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And that's a fantastic way to wrap. Eddy, great to see you as always. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
You've been watching the Infrastructure Matters live from the show floor here at Share in New Orleans. Please click and subscribe and do all those things to get the algorithms to work, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks very much for watching.